But what we cannot survive, and this is why it's the number one problem, what we cannot survive is an influx of foreigners in the tens of thousands being spread all over the country so as to become a majority. And that is the purpose, is that they become a majority. And therefore, that political movements like ourselves, or like the Yellow Vest movement in France, or like Brexit in Britain, literally, not only do we have a problem, shall we say, with a hostile media in reaching the majority of our own people, is even if we want a majority of Irish people, the Irish people are already a minority already, so it doesn't matter. Even if every single Irish person voted for the National Party, we might still end up being a minority. So crudely put was this recently in a Question Time interview. Question Time is a little bit like the old questions and answers in Ireland. Younger people won't remember it, but it's on the BBC. It's basically they have a panel and they get questions from the audience. It's kind of like what we're doing here, except it's on television. And somebody who was on the Remain side actually made this as an argument. He said that there needed to be a second referendum because, in his opinion, enough people had died since the last referendum who had voted Leave, and enough people had turned 18 since the last referendum who would have voted Remain to change the result. Now, what he was actually using mortuary statistics to back his political view. That's right. We've come to that. We've actually come to that, where they are counting how many of us die in order to see how quickly they can take control, and how many they can kill and how many of us are dying. And exactly as James said, is counting the paddies, how many of them are left. And now we do it every 4 years in the census, and they ask us where we're from and so on and so forth, so they can work out. The left is importing its vote, its new vote, and it knows it, and Fine Gael knew that too when 3/4 of the membership of Fine Gael voted for Simon Coveney, but the parliamentary party voted for Leo Varadkar. And I don't mind saying it. The fact of the matter is it was because he was half Indian and he was gay. That's the reason he was elected as party leader, because he was modern. He was elected because he was modern, not because he was smart, because he clearly is not. Not because he had any particular charisma, because he doesn't. Not because he's articulate, because he isn't. But because he'd get his face on Time magazine, as he did, as the first gay, a mixed-race Taoiseach of Ireland. And Simon Coveney would not have. And that's the degree to which we are being manipulated, that the parties are changing themselves in order. When people talk about the disconnection between the Irish people and the party political system, they often are baffled by that, and they say to themselves, well, why would you do that? Why would you not just follow your voters? They're preparing themselves for the voters in 10 years' time and 20 years' time. Yeah. They're remaking their image in accordance with what they believe will be popular in the decades to come, when there is no appeal to Irish nationalism because there are no Irish people to appeal to.
We don't fit into the plans for the future.
We don't fit. Yeah, we don't fit, other than as a tiny minority to be shoved ever further. If we would be lucky if we got Cromwell. Cromwell would have given us Connacht. And he was willing to give us hell as well. We get nothing from these bastards.
No.